Fermi IPO is tomorrow, and it is really interesting. It is basically pre-revenue. It was made in January, so it literally has no revenue. Most of the no revenue companies that come out are either biotech companies or mining companies. And the last company like this that has come out with no revenue and a big IPO like this was back in the dot-com bubble or back in 19 or whatever. So I'm very interested to see what the thing's gonna do. At the end of the day, I did request over 100 shares to see how the thing's gonna do. There is a ton of hype behind this as well. They got over $350 million of capital just last month in August. And also the former U.S. Energy Secretary, Ricky Perry, is the backer / co-founder of this. They have a lot of good backing from either people that used to be high in politics or know their way around the energy and regulation sector, so I think they can do a really good job at it. It is really interesting because I can't really say anything too overly positive about this company because they don't have revenue. Totally different than the IPOs we've actually seen, where we've actually been able to see if they're profitable or they keep growing, stuff like that, how they're actually doing financially and behind the hype. I think the most important thing to really look at this is to look at the oversubscribe rate in the morning before. We did see that they're raising their valuation and issuing more shares, which means we actually might get more shares than usual, just like we did for bullish, depending on if they set a specific amount of shares away for us, retail investors. But honestly, they're throwing on their description on Robinhood, throwing around a lot of hype words: data centers, nuclear energy, renewable energy. Renewable energy, of course, hasn't been doing too hot, but nuclear energy, if you didn't know, I have invested in some of those companies, and they've been doing amazing, along with data centers like White Fiber. But yeah, I don't want to see these things a long-term hold. I think they could be something like a Gemini situation where this thing totally pops off. Probably won't fall as much because even though it is pre-revenue, we don't have information that it's doing amazing, but that also means we don't have the information that means it's doing bad. So it will take a little while to see if they actually succeed or don't succeed. And since we don't have that negative information, there's not really anything pushing it down besides the fact that it is pre-revenue. But it has good backing, it has a good idea, and a pretty hard to get to space, but it has a pretty huge valuation, and they're getting tons of money, not only from this IPO, but from backing from other companies as well. So I can't stream tomorrow, but I'm just going to pull my pre-IPO shares. Maybe I'll get more than one, and maybe I'll potentially see a limit order if this thing's moving the right price pre-IPO and this thing's moving fast.